This is another Red Couch Podcast bonus episode. I'm going to be your host, Georgia Newman, and today we have a really fun guest, Maya Miterani. The goal here is to really just talk about books, BookTok, all of that goodness, and there will be an article about it on the Interrobang regarding my opinion and just going into further detail. So you love books?
I do. I'm a self-proclaimed book nerd.
Yeah. Where do you get a lot of your recommendations or to be read?
Okay, so this is bad, but I will admit I will go on to TikTok, just because I find there's really good book recommendations there, or even I'll just go to a bookstore and look at some books that look interesting to me, and then write them down on a little list, and then I refer back to that list when I have nothing to read. So I always have a new book on my list that I'm going to read next, and I never have a break.
I do the same thing. I think when I'm looking for my TBR, it's always they'll do the craziest little one picture of one caption from this book, and you're sold.
Yeah, no, I love when it's just a paragraph and you're ooh, that looks good. Yeah. But I hate when you read it, you actually go and read a book and you're oh, this whole book is actually but yeah, there's only one good section. Yeah, no, for real. Okay, so what do you think got you into reading? What was the initial attraction for you to pick up a book? It's funny because I was never a big book nerd or anything. My brother was actually the one that was really into reading and really into books. And then I started reading his old books that he left behind. And then I got his old Kindle that had a bunch of downloaded books on it. And I just became addicted, and I just loved constantly kind of having to something to do in the background, in between classes or in a little study break. And then I just fell into this tangent of just becoming a massive book nerd and nonstop having a book on the go.
So do you focus on romance, or do you just do any book? Any book's good for you?
Yeah, I'm cool for any book. I am a romance book fan. I'm not gonna lie, that is one of my top genres. But I love a good mystery, science fiction. Mm-hmm. I'll read anything. I really like to challenge myself and read books that I might, sometimes I know that I won't like the book, but I feel it needs to be read, so I'll push myself to read it.
Interesting. I don't do that at all.
Really?
The only reason I got into reading was, so last Christmas break, I was only watching rom-coms and romance movies on Netflix, Disney Plus, and I ran out because there's only so many. Mm-hmm. And then I was man, now what do I do? And that's what got me reading, because I would just watched every rom-com movie, and now I watch rom-com movies and I'm a book does it way better. Deep. No, the yearning. Bridgerton does some yearning, but other than that, it's just giving cringe.
Yeah, no, there's some books that I literally know I'm not gonna enjoy, but I know that are my vibe, Pride and Prejudice, Picture of Dorian Gray, Catcher in the Rye, kind of books like that, really classic ones. I've gone ahead and read before, and they weren't my vibe or anything, but I just feel I needed to have education so I could hate it.
Interesting. I am an ignorant hater. I love Colleen Hoover. Never read a book from her. Hater.
Oh.
I just decided that I didn't like it. I don't know. I saw all the End With Us drama, and I was and I hate her. And everybody was why? Why do you hate her? And I was I don't know.
I love being an informed hater. It brings me joy.
I don't know. Reading is so unserious that it's just I don't like deep things. Here's the thing. For me, reading is escaping reality. Mm-hmm. It's getting away and living in a fairy tale for a little bit, which is why I don't like deep shit. I don't want to read a book about the Holocaust. I don't want to read a book. I get that it's informative. Hey, I understand that it's informative and that people enjoy it. Love that for you. But when I'm reading and I'm disassociating, I don't want to go somewhere worse than where I am.
But yet you'll read a really long series of 7 books and get invested into that, right?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. But okay, ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. There is a period, the one book, I think it's Wings and Ruin.
Rings and Ruin, yeah.
The entire book is about a war.
Yeah.
About 600 pages into that book, I was
boring.
It wasn't even that it was a little bit boring. It was sad, dude.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
I like the build-up. To me, a lot of times in a series, the first book is always the best because it has the most tension. It has, the most drama. Taking, Fourth Wing or any kind of big book series like that, or even ACOTAR, it's the hate and the tension in the first book, and you kind of read the second book when the two main characters get together, mm-hmm. and you're okay, cool, you're happy, but low-key there's no build-up, they don't hate each other anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. I hate when okay, so I like the build. Yeah, I agree. The build-up, the yearning, that whole aspect of it is the best part of reading a series. And okay, I'm gonna use Crescent City for an example. The first book,
was good. It was good.
I thought it was literally, out of all of the Sarah J. Maas books, I haven't finished Throne of Glass, but out of all of the Sarah J. Maas series, I haven't even met Rowan yet, or like Manon. I want to meet Manon because I feel like I am Manon, and I don't even know who it is.
I'm so excited for you to read this. Like, seriously.
I've read the first 2 books, and then I'm halfway through Assassin's Blade, but it's like I know that she's going to Wyvern.
A wyvern?
Yeah. And then it was like, now you should read Assassin's Blade. And I was like, what do you mean? They sent a Fae into Fae territory. What's going on in the House of Commons? So I'm taking a break from that and just reading some stupid books right now. I need a break too. Like that heavy
books. Do you do
books.
a little cleanser between your books?
Like a solid little, just like, because like fantasy romance is so much. There's pain, there's suffering, there's baggage. And then I go back to like a little like rom-com book where it's like, billionaire boyfriend. Ooh.
I don't like rom-com books. But like if I read like a really big 7-book series, I'll take a little break. I'll go from reading a high fantasy 7-book series, like 700 pages each per book, and go ahead and read like a historical Holocaust book to cleanse my mind and bring me back to reality right before jumping into more romance and smut.
Man, that's crazy. I'm just like, hit me with just straight smut. No. Rather than like the plot, take the plot away and just give me smut for one book, and then I'll go back to plot with smut. But like Throne of Glass is barren. There's like nothing happening in that book.
Yeah,
but it's yearning.
The build up. The build up.
I know. Yeah, I just love Dorian so much, and I feel like he's so done so dirty through the 2 books.
No, he's gonna be done dirty.
Oh, great.
It's continuing.
Love that. Anyways, so what do you think? When you're looking for a book, what's like the biggest book trope that you go for? Let's talk romantasy here. Like,
okay, we're staying romance.
Yeah, let's not talk about Holocaust books. I don't want to know what trope you like about that.
For the record, I've not read that many Holocaust books, just like a few. Gotta stay educated. Romance book-wise, okay, we all had a little Wattpad girly phase.
I didn't. Continue.
It's a cultural experience.
I know it's a canon event, but I wasn't there.
So, okay. I'm sorry. Enemies to lovers is hands down one of the best tropes.
It's good. It is good, but I think there's a line that gets crossed too often where it's like the bully romances where they treat her like absolute garbage, and then at the end of the book she's like, wait, but I think I love him, and you're like, he literally did so much terrible things to you.
It depends. Like, I can't, like, because if an author writes something that the main character did to each other, and I'm like, I'm not gonna forget that just because they got together. Like, if he like her over, I'm not gonna forget it.
Yeah, those ones kind of, they get on my. I read one where he like took pictures of her sexually and then posted them without her permission everywhere, and then like literally 10 pages later she's like, but he's mine and I think I love him. And I was like, girl,
I need a build up. Yeah, but I don't like a weak female character. I need my main female character to be strong and independent.
Yeah,
because like if not, I'm just like, I don't want like a fucking little, I don't know, like a weak, undermined. I like a well-developed and well-written.
I agree with that statement. I do think it's nice to have, like, somebody, like, I hate when the girls are like, oh, no, I'm just a little baby.
Oh, I need to be saved. No,
for me, it's the yearning. It's slow burn, and then I like men falling first. I know a girl chasing a man's disgusting.
Oh, 100%.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to read it. So those are what I go for mostly, which is, I think, why I love Sarah J. Maas, because usually it's, like, enemies to friends to lovers, and I love that.
I also like that Sarah J. Maas specifically doesn't just write from a female point of view. Like, the way her books are structured, it's not just like every chapter is narrated by the main character, like the female. There is also like the male main character, and I love that perspective. I want to hear how both sides are falling in love, not just one.
Men written by women.
Yes.
Love.
Yes, sometimes I like to actually prefer to read books with a male main character instead of a female one, because I like the different change up.
Interesting. I do like my female leads. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Crescent City. It's like my go-to right now, but like Bryce?
Yeah. Oh, hands down.
She is like such a queen.
Oh, 100%.
She's so amazing. Okay, next question. Favorite book and series?
Okay, this is can I give top? Or could I have to narrow it down to one? That's a hard question.
You can do, well, I don't know, maybe do like in the last year, like stuff you've read.
In the last year?
Yeah, that's true. I guess you've read quite a bit.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, give me top 3.
Okay, off the top of my head, some really good books I've enjoyed. Okay, do you want me to stick in fantasy romance?
Whatever.
Not going to mention a Holocaust one.
Please don't.
Okay, Sarah J. Maas, Throne of Glass, genuinely, I think, is one of my favorite series ever. I've never read a series so well written where the friendship groups are the best writing I've ever seen. And I'm considering getting a tattoo from there.
Oh, interesting.
Beyond that, Daisy Jones and the Six was really good.
Oh, I've seen the TV show.
Yeah. Doesn't compare. What else? The Inheritance Game was also really good. The Shadows Between Us was good. I don't know. I've read like a bunch of good ones.
Interesting. See, I find a lot of people okay, my biggest pet peeve.
They Both Die at the End is also a good one.
So say that again.
But They Both Die at the End.
Oh. Yeah. What do you mean?
That's a book.
Oh
yeah. No.
I was like, what book? Okay, anyways. Crescent City. So everybody reads with Sarah J. Maas. They read ACOTAR first, of course, because it's like the Twilight of today. And then they go into Throne of Glass. And then they'll usually take a taste of Crescent City. Like they'll literally read like the first 100 pages. And it's one of those books where it does take a couple hundred pages to know what's going on. But they freaking hate it. Everybody who reads it, they give up. They don't like it. And it's like, to me, you like Throne of Glass. And I haven't gotten to the best parts of Throne of Glass yet. But for me, Crescent City, like the inner circle of Crescent City with Rune.
Oh, it's amazing.
She's so good at writing these friend groups. I think she kind of slacked off in ACOTAR a little bit, because I was like, by the end of ACOTAR, I was like, I'm glad to be done with ACOTAR. And with Crescent City, when I finished, it took me 3 days where I just sat there and I was like, and the world's over.
The whole Crescent City series though? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that you can definitely tell after Sarah J. Maas books is she wrote Throne of Glass when she was 16.
Really?
Yeah, so that's why there's not that much smut in the first few books. Because she was a young author at the time and she didn't include that. But I kind of like that because you can see her writing development. Like, Throne of Glass is definitely targeted to a younger audience. And then after that, she wrote ACOTAR. And that's kind of like mid-level, like young adult, like everyone gets hooked onto it. But Crescent City, the way it's written, it's also written like modern age. Like, yeah, there's still the fairies and fae element to it and magic, but it's more high tech. So if you're like into that kind of like no technology sense, it's like a big jump from the two books.
I think, okay, I agree with you, but I like a good medieval time like moment, but I think with the Crescent, like the whole thing with Crescent City is just the fact that the characters are so slept on. Like, everybody talks about Eileen or like Selena,
yeah.
Aileen, whatever her name is. They always talk about Throne of Glass and they always talk about ACOTAR, and then everybody's like, ugh, Crescent City, and I'm like, you guys are freaking missing out. It's so, like, I want to be part of, like, ACOTAR, the group of friends. Again, when I finished the books, I was like, thank God. You pissed me off. Reese pissed me off. Hate to say it. Reese Ann pissed me off. Nesta.
The ending. Yeah.
The entire situation. I was just like, by the end of it, I was like, you guys are kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then I finished Crescent City and I was like, these are people that I genuinely feel like I know now and I want to stay friends with for the rest of my life.
I think it was a more realistic ending to Crescent City. Compared to like ACOTAR, I didn't like how it was like, oh, she's 20 and she's suddenly having a baby. And I was like, what?
Yeah, and people do like centuries try to get, Oh, yeah. It was just weird. And I also have a really weird thing where I want Eris and Nesta to get together. Because Cassian pissed me off in Silver Flame. Cassian pissed me off. Okay, anyways. Favorite book boyfriend?
I had Rowan Whitethorn.
Really? You like that he's a little bit of a boom. That's all I know about it, is that he just punches her in the face.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. No, but it's like, because I don't want my book boyfriend to, like, baby the main character. That's I like that he's a bit of a I
kind of like that he, like, punches her in the face.
No, like, I'm not condoning abuse or anything. But, like, Aileen can handle her shit. She's on top of things.
No, that's fair.
He was a good one. I'm, like, so stuck on, like, ACOTAR because we're talking about so much Sarah J. Maas books.
Hunt.
Hunt
is like, I bought a ring that says Light It Up, and it's like coming. Cute. I know. So you're getting a tattoo. I bought a ring because there's gonna be more books. I'm like, what happens if I hate all of you by the end of it? Yeah. But anyways, Hunt for me. Chef's kiss. Literally, no crumbs. Anyways, that's kind of it. All right, guys, that's the end of this bonus episode. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to check us out on all of our socials and our website at interrobang.ca.